Thanks for some of your time. What was the emotion when the clock hit 0? What was the first thing you felt?
Man, just, again, a bunch of joy for our football team, having the ability to find a way to be on the right side and go win. It was something that was needed for our program. It was needed for our guys, needed for our fan base, and a lot of excitement for all the people that got to enjoy it.
If someone asked me, what is Jeff Lebby's biggest strength as a coach, I would tell them the man understands that you can't let things beat you twice. You have this mentality of moving forward in any situation that sometimes it feels like coach speak. It does not with you. Is that something that you've always just been that way, or did you work for a coach that had that mentality and you adopted it as your own?
Yeah, I do. I think the best coaches I've been around have always been about, man, regardless of what has happened before, it's about what's next. And that's how the game is. That's the profession. But that's like the plays inside the game that I always talk about. That it's the same thing that in that regard. You know, the next play is the most important play of our life because it's the only play that we've got. And so that's just how I've been able to operate. We've been able to operate, and it comes from the best ones that I've been around.
So I know you've seen a lot of football, coached a lot of football, played a lot of football. Rank Brendan Thompson's sliding catch on the greatest catches you've ever seen, because I've watched that play about 50 times, and I still have no idea how he spotted that ball and came back to get it.
Yeah, for me right now, it's number one. Because, man, it is. It's making that play late in the game in the fourth quarter on the last drive on fourth down that gives us the ability to continue to play that drive and ultimately go score a touchdown to win the game. So it was an unbelievable job being able to locate it and then having the ability to control his body and tempo down and slide to where he was able to get underneath it. So just a huge play, obviously, on that drive in that game to give us the ability to go win.
I want to talk about your receivers for a minute. I remember the first conversation we had this past spring. I think I asked you about them, and I made the comment, it's a group that, you know, there's not a lot of returning production. And you just had this grin on your face, and you were like, no, I love this group. I love this group. What is the job that Chad Bumpus has done with the evaluations and the coaching of this group? You may have 2,000-yard receivers at a school that's only had 3 in its history.
Yeah, but the room, again, and knew it while we were in the middle of it, knew it last spring, kind of like you mentioned. Again, the room's in a great spot. There's great depth to it, and you don't see that all the time because of the guys that are playing every snap, playing at such a high level. And that's just the reality of where the room is. But there's depth in the room, and so I think we've done a good job of continuing to build that room the right way from an evaluation standpoint as we've recruited these guys and then getting them in to the system and those guys having the ability to go make the plays. But that, for us, it is. We're not going to ever look up and say, man, I'm really worried about the receiver room. That's not, for the last 16 years, this offense and the system, and been very, very fortunate in places I've been and the people I've been with, we're not going to look up and be wondering if we're going to have a receiver that can go make plays.
Well, you've got 2 for sure in Brendan Thompson and Anthony Evans. Can Aiden Williams jump into that conversation? He seems to be getting better each week.
Absolutely he can. And Aiden was frustrated the other day. He had a couple of opportunities to make some plays, had the 2 drops where, again, for him, he was frustrated because he's been making those plays. I've got great confidence in Aiden. He's done a really good job. He's the healthiest he's been all year long. The guy's playing faster and faster. He understands the system. And, man, he's having fun practicing every day, and he's got an incredible amount of energy. I'm proud of who he's been and man, where he's going. I'm looking for Aiden to have just this incredible finish to the season and be able to carry that momentum into the offseason for him.
So you look back at Saturday's game. Blake Shapen has to leave the game with a concussion check. And Mario Taylor comes in. He plays really well and has some momentum. You decide to go back to Blake Shapen. What's the conversation with Taylor and with Shapen like when you're making that change?
Yeah, for me in the moment, it was all about getting Blake checked out and, our medical staff being able to say, Coach, he is cleared and he's good. And until that happened, it was talking with Camario nonstop about what was next, making sure we're cleaning up some things from the prior drive, and putting him in positions of success. When we got the clearance from Blake, from the medical staff for Blake, I was going to go back with Blake. Again, I don't think we have the ability to go win that football game if Camario doesn't do what he does on 2 of those 3 drives that he plays. But again, I think it's pretty well documented, my belief in Blake. As you look at where he is today, we haven't gotten the result that we wanted and been really close to getting at times. Blake has played incredibly tough. He's played good football. And for him, having the ability to get the ball out of his hands when things aren't well, or understanding, man, I can take a sack here because of the fact of the situation and not putting the ball at risk. I wanted Blake to be back in that game, and I've got a ton of confidence in him. I got a ton of confidence in 1, too. I think people understand that. But as we got into that game late in the second half, man, I felt like 2 was going to give us the ability to do what we needed.
He definitely rewarded your decision with some of the best football he's played at Mississippi State there in that fourth quarter. Watching your team this year, I feel like every game it's been more about what your team has done or has not done than what the other team has done. Does that make sense? Do you agree with that? It's more about, you talk about controlling the controllable. Is winning and losing for your team more about what you guys do than what the other team does?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. We do. We get to dictate and decide how we want Saturday to look. We get to dictate how we want the finish of this season to look, and that's the messaging nonstop. We're playing an incredible opponent. I think that's pretty well documented as well. We understand that, but how we do what we do, the edge that we play with, the toughness and the confidence, the passion, and the execution, that to me is up to us. And for our guys, just continuing to understand that, I think is really important as we continue to build this thing the way we want to have the ability to go sustain.
What surprised you about your team this season, good or bad?
Yeah, I think that the negatives were, not finding ways in 3 of, these games that ended in 1-score, 2 in overtime, and then obviously the 2-point game in Gainesville. I was surprised that we did not find ways to go win those games after we had a very similar situation, week 2 with Arizona State. And so as we were in the moment, I thought we had, kicked that door down, and we hadn't. That was, for me, that was surprising and frustrating as we moved through that. That's why Saturday was such a huge deal, to find a way to win while not obviously playing perfect throughout those 4 quarters and playing from behind. Again, that surprised me a little bit. I think for me, the really good thing has been, man, I thought we were going to be a lot better defensively. I really felt that. We have played much, much better defense. But you don't know until you truly know. And I wasn't surprised by that. I just have gotten confirmation on that. And it's been good to see the way we've been able to create turnovers, the way we've played on the back end. Again, some things that just really, really proud of our unit and our staff, man, for putting our guys in positions to go make plays and then making the plays. And that's been, for me, there's been great confirmation in that, which has been great. And man, we got an incredible challenge on Saturday to continue that trend.
A couple minutes left here with Coach Jeff Lebby. Coach, your team, you see the jump your team has made from your first season to your second season. I would say that if you make a similar jump from your second season to your third season, you're going to be contending for the college football playoff next year. When you think about the guys you're going to bring back and their development, and you think about what you're going to be able to do in the portal, do you think you've got another jump like this in you?
That is 100% the plan. And that, again, for us, as we go finish this season, man, it is about making sure we're doing everything we can to create and keep great momentum. I think anybody that knows the game at all, as you've watched us play this year in comparison to a year ago, it is truly night and day. I want to finish this season the right way with 3 incredible opponents that we've got in the regular season, and then getting into a bowl game is incredibly important. So being able to finish the right way, and then we've got to do a great job retaining. We've got to do a great job getting the additions that we need in a couple of these spots. But we're going to have a more talented team a year from today than we do today. That's the reality of building this thing the right way. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We'll be in year 3 of systems, which is going to be a huge deal. And so I'm excited about getting to coach our guys every day right now. I'm incredibly excited about where this thing's going to go. And I got great passion and love for having the ability to be the head football coach here because I think it's a two-way street. Our people love football. They're serious about being great. And I've talked about sustaining at a really high level for a long time since I've been here, and that's definitely my vision.
Coach Jeff Lebby, enjoy Dog Talk tonight, Coach. I won't be listening. I got to do my show, but we'll do it another time.
Hey, you won't miss much. I appreciate it.